scale modelers. My new project is going to be what is called a kit bash. It's where you take one kit and you transform it into something else that you yourself wish and desire. And what I'm taking on now is going to be an aircraft carrier. It's going to be an Essex class American aircraft carrier. What we're talking about here today will be the Atlantis 1 to 500 scale CV-14 Ticonderoga, and I will be kit bashing this. I don't give a damn about the Ticonderoga, but what I do care about is the USS Intrepid CV-11. And I visited the museum in New York. The Intrepid showed me a great time. I was on the bridge. I got to talk to her sailors. Most of the volunteers on board are her former sailors. And so the Intrepid is near and dear to me. In fact, I had a nice macaroni and cheese lunch in the enlisted mess. So even the food's good there. So Intrepid, that's my ship. So I am going to transform CV-14 into CV-11, and I'm going to be doing it the time period I'm shooting for, since we've got the angled deck. It's not going to be Korea, but I'm going to make it as close to the Vietnam era as I can. So I'm going to get started with that, and my first step is I got to do the red hull on the bottom of the ship. The hull of the Intrepid is about as good as I'm going to get it. Now that the hull is together, the upper parts are coming together pretty well. The sidewalls, they fit with pins, and that took a little bit of jiggling, but that's okay. That's to be expected. But the parts that pop into the hull, those are popping in very well. The paint that I'm using for my my navy gray is Montana Black, and it's NC Formula graffiti spray paint, and the shade is BLK 400-7030, and the name of the shade is called Mouse.
They call me Intrepid. I've been afloat since 1943.
With this model, I mean, they drill holes for you, but you got to re-drill, and I'm talking every step of the way. This is the base of the foundation for it, and so I got to go with the 5/16 just so that the ship stand will work. Here we go. They don't make it easy for you on this one. I have already put glue all over everything along the way here. I'm doing the flight deck. The time is now. I got the elevator doors where I want them to be. And since I have two decal sheets, there's going to be some extra little decals that I'm going to be able to use to really jazz this baby up like the Intrepid is done. So I'm looking forward to getting this flight deck marked up. The first words that come to my mind at this time are patriotism, boner. Okay. I'm dry fitting the flight deck, and I still haven't figured out how I'm fitting that elevator door on there. But this elevator, I want this one, you know, flush with the deck, because it's part of the cool stripe job. And this one over here, I think I'm going to have the, I'm going to do what they do with the Ticonderoga model and have it down here with an aircraft, you know, either the helicopter or one of the little jets. And I just got off of eBay and Etsy, and there are no Vietnam 500 scale miniatures that I can use for this. So I'm stuck with the freaking Korean War action, and really I was kind of trying to do this boat in the Vietnam mode, but you know, that's what I got. It's a 1/500 scale, and this model costs $25, and the 350 scale costs like almost $200 and even more than that. So I could buy 3 or 4 of these kits and do the whole Essex collection for what it would cost to do one 350 scale Intrepid with trumpeter. Okay, here's what I got so far. So I've got the Intrepid style paint job. As you'll see right there, we got the forward area in gray. And then back here behind the island like that. And I am not much of a brush man, and if you are good at doing masking jobs and brushing the paint on, boy do I wish I could model like you, because this is something I really struggle with. I do a lot better just doing a rattle can and masking everything off. So the next thing I'm going to do is pull this tape off and see how well it came out. If it came out okay, I really got lucky. Scale modelers, you are looking at the ugliest number 11 ever devised by man. But not to fear. These numbers are the exact width of a strip of Tamiya tape. And let's do some before and after. Okay, behold the decal job on the Fighting Eye. This is thanks to the Mega Hobby website. And the next step, there's the Pleasure Palace right there. And if anyone wants to put in the comments, if anyone sailed on Intrepid or they know what that is, let me know what it is. It can't be a Pleasure Palace. But yeah, this is how the Intrepid was supposed to be marked. And the next thing right here is going to be to do the arrestor cables. And I'm going to do that with some wound electric guitar strings to assimilate the Navy cables. And I think I might need to do a white stripe along the aft flight deck. But other than that, I am pretty happy. I give myself a B+ on the decal job, and usually I'm more of a C+ decal person. So this kit bash is going so far so good. And a lot of fun too, I might add. A quick comment about the Essex Carrier class. I used to be a critic of defense spending, and yes, there are stories that are nefarious and of profligate waste and inefficiency. You know, you hear about the $400 hammers and, you know, things that you could buy at the hardware store that the Defense Department gets charged a lot of money for. But let's look at the Essex class. When they were straight rectangular decks in World War II, they were badass, and they helped turn the tide of the war. They were badass in Korea. They were badass in Vietnam. Now, how wasteful is that? And I'm a fan of Max's Models, the YouTube channel, and if you haven't checked it out, you need to get into Max's Models. But he pointed out, look at how long the B-52 has been in service, and it's still serving today. Look at how long the F-15 has been in service. It started in like 1974 or 75. It's going better than ever today. Look at the F-16 and how long it's served. Okay? So, surprisingly, I just came up with something good to say about defense spending. Okay, back to modeling. My first stop in the city is to see the fighter planes on the USS Intrepid Museum. Check that out. All right, let's talk about the air group. The F-9F Cougar, that was flown on Intrepid, and these are the planes that came with Ticonderoga. And YF-32 are the markings that I have for this, for Ticonderoga, and they were the first squadron, or one of the first, to get these on the carrier. But I'm looking at aeroscale.net. And this is a photograph of Cougars flying off Intrepid. And look at all that rust on the flight deck. So this is an authentic air group for Intrepid. And that's just a fun thing to discover while you're doing your research, trying to figure out what the paint scheme is. So the paint scheme that you see right there That is very similar to the modern current Blue Angels. This kit is selling on megahobby.com at 350 scale for $266. Kit bash the Ticonderoga and do what I'm doing for like $60. The kit is $20. All the toys that you need to do to get it done, $60 or less. $266? Come on. Now, Intrepid has those extra takeoff ramps that go slightly down off the front of the flight deck, and the Ticonderoga kit does not offer that, so I'm just using some stock styrene to add those on, and I'll paint those gray. And the number 11, I give myself a C+ for that, but it's kind of sloppy. But that's part of the fun of doing a kit bash. Okay, I have ordered from Hobby Link Streaking Rust Effects, and it's AMIG 1204. So that's the serial number for this. And I dabbed those on, and I am totally copying the fella that built the Trumpeter 350 scale kit, and I just dabbed this stuff on, you know, in the same manner that he did. And the instructions indicate that once I have dabbed on the rust effect, then you go over and you dab on some enamel thinner to wash it out a little bit. So that'll be the next step here. And this model is just about complete. So just to sum things up, you can kit bash the Atlanta Ticonderoga kit and buy it for about $19.99. You know, it ranges between that and $25 online. And you can buy an extra set of decals and just use the ones from each set and get this thing done for only a little bit of money. And yes, the air group is a 1955 vintage, but compared to the $200 Trumpeter kit, this is a great value if you like the Intrepid. So that was the purpose of this video. And if you do want to go first class, you can order from Model Monkey the proper USS Intrepid 500 scale island, which will fit the Atlantis kit, and it's got the Pleasure Palace on there right and proper, but you can do it the way that I did it too, for no money. All right? So this was a fun project, and if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. I'll be back at you again with another scale model video sometime soon. Take care.